everyone, I'm Dee of Sew Hot Mommy, and I'm going to go through a couple of pieces that I made for a trip that I just took to Martha's Vineyard. I was only there for a couple of days, so I didn't have a lot to sew. Everything I made had to be 1, cute, 2, easy to sew, 3, comfortable, and 4, easy to pack, something I could just throw in the suitcase and not worry about. So one of the things that I chose was this Vogue pattern dress, and it's Vogue 9312. One of the main reasons that I chose this particular pattern was because of the empire waistline. Now I have quote unquote a short body or short waisted, so things that hit below the bust line for me are very flattering. Now I made this out of an ITY knit. And this is navy with white polka dots. It's totally opaque, so I didn't have to worry about a lining or anything like that. Now, before I sew anything, I will go on to Pattern Review and Instagram, and I'll sort of do my research. I like to see how patterns look on people, how they fit, any feedback they have in terms of construction, things that they encountered, and that sort of helps me decide what I want to sew and how I want it to look on me. So one of the first things that people commented on was that the bodice back is unlined. So to rectify that, all I did was duplicate the bodice back using the original pattern piece. Then I sewed the bodice, the lining in whole, and then the outside in whole, and attached them at the neckline all the way through the ties, and then sewed the side seam. After that, all you have to do is sew the skirt and you're done. One of the other things is that I top stitched only this portion of the neckline and through the tie. And the only reason that I top stitched the tie was because as a knit, it kept folding in on itself and you couldn't see the tie structure. So to do that, I just top stitched, and then you know how you sort of fool around with knits, the seams will sort of distort after a while if you keep messing around with them. So to rectify that, all I did was take my iron, press flat, take the clapper, do the same thing, and it flattened it completely out. Another point of contention for me was that to create the casing, you take the bodice with the 2 layers, the skirt with the 3rd layer, sew it down, and that made the casing. To me, that was a little bit too much fabric density, and especially at the waistline. So I just cut away 2 of the layers and used the lining as the piece to sew down and create the casing. One other thing is that if you can see, this is a tie front, and so there's a keyhole opening, and if you place the 2 bodice pieces along the skirt where the pattern calls for it be like this. So for me, it would have hit like this. I didn't want to worry about my bra showing or anything like that, especially on vacation. So I just placed them a little bit closer together. It's not as dramatic or probably as cute as, I've seen it in other people, but I didn't worry about my bra either. So that was just a little simple adjustment that I made. In terms of seams and finishes for the hem, because this is a knit, it didn't fray or unravel, so I didn't serge it because, again, I didn't want any seam distortion. So this is just a simple 1-inch hem. In terms of the seaming, I pretty much sewed or serged it wherever I could so that it would be finished. And I'm going to turn it around so that you can see it. I stuck with the longer skirt length because I wanted a little bit dressier. It has a nice deep V. And that for me, I think that's pretty because it elongates the neck. I'll turn it around so you can see. Easy for you to add pockets if you wanted to. No seam here in the bodice or the back. On Isabel, you can see there's a little bit of gaping, and there was some of me not quite this pronounced, but if I sew this again, I probably will make a pattern alteration to sort of address that. And that is pretty much it. In terms of styling, I hope the camera picks it up, but I wore this hoop from Stella & Dot pretty much with everything that I made, and it's very cute. I have a pair of Steve Madden sandals that I wore with just about everything. They're flat, totally cute, comfortable. And then I had this little straw purse that I wore with everything. So that's pretty much it.